Welcome back to our next video based on SQL topic. So in this video we will cover the join process, the different types of joins, equi-join, natural join, everything that we will discuss, and certain questions also that we will discuss here. So what's the purpose of join? If you are in a situation to retrieve values from multiple table, then we are using the join process. So here we are using two tables, stationery and consumer, and we are moving to the first question. Select count of distinct address from consumer. So when you are taking the address field, we can see Delhi, that's repeated there. So when you are providing distinct address, only the Delhi and Mumbai data without repetition that will be taken there, and we will take the count after that. So what will be the count 2? So when you are taking the output of this particular query, they will provide the output like this. So we need to provide the column name as count of distinct address. Count of distinct address, that will be the column name, and 2 that will be printed as the column value. So like that they will provide the data within the output generation. Then we are moving to the next question. Select company, comma, max of price, comma, min of price, comma, count of star from stationery, group by company. So we need to group the data based on the company field. So here you can see the company section that's provided like this. ABC, that's one of the company, and 2 data that's they provided there. XYZ, that's another company, 2 data that's provided, and CAM, that's only 1 data. So like that we will group the data of the first step, and after that we are retrieving the data like this. As the first step we will take the company name. So the column names that will be company, max of price, min of price, and count of star. So that will be the column name, and the value within that particular columns that will be taken as the first step. They will take the first company name, then max of price. Based on that, 10 will be the maximum price or 15 is the maximum price. 15 is the maximum price. So 15. Then minimum price, only 2 data is there. So minimum price is 10. So that will be taken. And then count of star. How many data is there? 2. So like that, they will take the data within the table. So each company name that will be taken separately. So the next company name is XYZ, that's the next company name. So based on that, the minimum value and the maximum value, which is the maximum value 7, that's the maximum value, and the minimum value is 6, and the number count of star will retrieve 2, and then next one is CAM, and there are only 1 data that we are taking. So minimum value and maximum value, the same value that will be taken as the min and maximum values. So 5 and 5 that will be taken there, and then only 1 that will be printed. So like that they will take the output of that particular query, and we are moving to the next question. Select consumer.consumer name. Select consumer.consumer name, comma, stationery.stationery name, stationery.price from stationery, comma, consumer, where consumer.sid equal to stationery.sid. So here we are using the common field, the primary key and foreign key field that we are referring here. So this one is the primary key field and this one is the foreign key field that we are using there. So here how they are retrieving the data, they are counter checking the 2 fields as the first step. So consumer.sid equal to stationery.sid. So PL01 this data, and based on that, which are the sections that we are trying to retrieve? Consumer name, stationery name, and stationery price. Consumer name is P101, good learner, that's the consumer name, and stationery name, what's the stationery name? Pencil, that's the data that they will display, and the price that's provided within the stationery table itself. So price is 5. Then next data, GP02 is this one. So based on that, write well, that's the consumer name, then stationery name, gel pen, then price 15. Then next data, DP01. So DP01, the consumer name is Topper, then the stationery name is dot pen, then the price is 10. So like that they will retrieve each value. PL02. So based on that, right hand row, that's the consumer name, and then PL02 pencil, then 6. So like that they will take the data. So they will take the data from here and they will counter check where that's provided within the primary key field, and based on that they will retrieve the data from both the tables. So that's the process for linking. So when you are taking the first row PL01, so they will counter check where that's provided. So based on that they will retrieve that data, pencil and 5, and the consumer name is bootlearner. So like that they will take the data as one by one. So whenever we are providing the primary key foreign key relation, these are the primary key and foreign key fields. This one is primary key field and this one is foreign key field. So when you are setting a primary key foreign key relation, definitely they will check the referential integrity rule. So based on the referential integrity rule, which are the things that you need to remember? If any value that's inserted within the primary key, that only we are permissible to insert within the foreign key field. So that's the main thing. So we can counter check each value within the primary key field, and based on that we can retrieve the data from the parent table and the child table. So that's a process for getting the output based on join process. Then we are moving to the next question. Write the output of the SQL queries 1, 2, 3 based on the table, item and supplier. So here we are moving to the two tables, item, that's the first table, and supplier, that's the next table. So here this one is the primary key and this one is the foreign key that we are using for setting the relation between two tables. And here the first question is select manufacturer comma counter start from group by manufacturer, from item group by manufacturer. So this one is the group by manufacturer. So this one is the manufacturer table, manufacturer field. So based on that we are going to retrieve the data. So group by manufacturer, we need to group the data based on manufacturer. So how many manufacturers names that's repeated there? Here you can see 3 data that's provided with the manufacturer section, ABC, that's 3 data, and XYZ 2 data, and ASM 2 data. So like that they are providing the grouping process, and then we will take the value based on that, manufacturer comma counter star, manufacturer comma counter star. So how they will take the output based on that, manufacturer ABC comma 3, then XYZ comma 2, not comma, within each column they will print. So ABC 3, manufacturer, and counter star, that's the 2 columns, column names that we will get. So within the manufacturer section ABC, then 3, then within the next row XYZ 2, and then ASM 2. So like that they will take the value within this query. For this query, that will be the output. Then next question, select max of quantity comma min of unit price from item. So this is the item table, and from there you need to retrieve maximum quantity and minimum unit price. So maximum quantity, which one is the maximum quantity? 250, that's the maximum quantity, and minimum price is 30. So that will be retrieved there. That will be retrieved there. And then select item dot item underscore ID comma item dot item underscore name comma item dot quantity comma supplier dot name from item comma supplier, where item dot item ID equal to supplier dot item ID and supplier dot city equal to EKM. So if any supplier city is EKM, then only we are trying to provide this particular join process. So we will provide the join process and we will counter check whether that particular person within the city EKM, and then only the retrieval process that will be done. So as the first step, we will take the EKM values. When we are retrieving the data, only EKM values that we need to retrieve. So these are the EKM values, and that 2 values only that we need to retrieve there. And based on that, the item IDs 104 and 106, which are the fields that we need to display? Item ID, then item name and item quantity, then supplier name. Supplier name, here the supplier name is Dreams and MBeauty. So as a first step, we will take 104, and from there you can see 104 mask, that's the item name, and the other data. Which are the data that we need to print there? Item name, item quantity. What is the item quantity? 250. So mask item quantity, that's 250. Then supplier name, Dreams. So that like that they will print it. Then next data 106. Then 106 here face wash. The quantity is 30. And if you need to print the unit price, that also that we can take. So like that they will retrieve the data. So here the supplier name is name of the supplier, that's M Beauty. So like that they will retrieve the data from both the tables. So based on the primary key foreign key relation, they will retrieve the data. So 104 that they will counter check within the base table and they will retrieve the required fields from the base table, and here from the 106 field they will retrieve this row based on that face wash and the quantity that they will retrieve, and from the child table the supplier names that they will retrieve there. So like this they will take the data from both the sections, take the data from both the tables. So we are moving to the next question. Write SQL queries for 1 to 5 which are based on the table school and admin. So here we are providing two tables, school and admin. To decrease period by 10% of the teachers of English subject. To decrease period by 10% of the teacher of English subject. So here where the subject details that's provided and where the other things that's provided that we need to consider. So period data is this one, and the teacher details also provided in this table. So school table that we are using here. So to decrease the period by 10% of the teachers of English subject. So if any staff is provided with the subject English, that particular data that we need to decrease. So for that we can use update command. Update table name. What's the table name? School. So update school. Then which field that we need to change? Period field that we need to change. So update school, set periods equal to periods minus periods into 10 by 100. Then what's the next process? Where subject equal to English. Where subject equal to English. So that's a process for providing the answer for this question, to decrease the period by 10% of the teachers of English subject. So how we will do that? Once again, update school, set periods equal to periods minus, we need to decrease the data. So that's why we are providing periods minus periods into 10 by 100 or 0.1 that we can provide there, into 0.1 also that's accepted there, where subject equal to English. Where subject equal to English. That's the answer for the first question. Then next question, to display teacher name, code, designation from table school and admin whose gender is male. So we need to take teacher name, code, designation from table school and admin whose gender is male. So we need to combine that two tables. Teacher name, that's we need to retrieve from the first table, and from the admin table we need to retrieve code and designation. So how we will do that? That we are going to see. We are going to see how to provide the query for this question, to display teacher name, code and designation. So select query that we will use for that, is it? So we are going to specify the query for that. Select teacher name. So which table that we are referring? School table. So we are providing yes dot teacher name, comma, then code. Let's see, primary key foreign key relation that we are using here. So here you can see that field that's already provided there. So we will provide any of the field names. So I am providing admin dot code, comma, then next field is designation. From which table? Admin dot or a dot, the alias name if you set it, that we can use there instead of providing the entire name. We can use a dot code comma a dot designation from both the table names that we need to specify there. From which are the table names? School. Along with the table name, we need to set the alias name. So school S comma admin A. Then what are the conditions that we need to apply there? We need to provide the join process, and along with that we need to counter check whether that particular person's gender is male or not. So as the first step, we will set the join process from school S admin A, where how we will set the join process? S dot code equal to A dot code, and then gender on which table? Admin table. So A dot gender equal to male, that we need to counter check. So we will provide male within single quotes. So this will be the answer for that question. So select S dot teacher name comma A dot code comma A dot designation from school S comma admin A. These are the alias name that we provided for that particular tables, where S dot code equal to A dot code. That's the primary key foreign key relation that we set it there, and A dot gender equal to male. A dot gender equal to male. So like that we can counter check the data and we can retrieve the data from both the tables. So that's the process for retrieving the data. So why we are using alias name within the table references? We are using the alias name only for reducing the usage, or for reducing the length of the query. So for easily using the table names, we are using the alias name. That's the only reason for providing alias name within the coding section, within the query section. Then we are moving to the next question. To display number of teachers in each subject. To display number of teachers in each subject. Based on each subject, how many teachers are there that we need to retrieve there. So here you can see English, how many teachers? 2 teachers are there. For the physics, 3 teachers are there. For the maths, only 1 teacher is there. So like that we need to retrieve the data. So how we will do that? We need to group the data of the first step, and after that only we can retrieve the number of teachers in each subject. So how we will do that? What's the query for that? Select. We need to use only one table there, so it's not required to use any join process. So what's the query? Select subject comma count star from school group by based on which field we need to group the data? Based on subject. So group by subject. Select subject comma count star from school group by subject. So that's the query for this question. What's the question? To display number of teachers in each subject. So we will group the data based on the subject and we will count it. We will group the data based on the subject and we will count it. We are moving to the next question. To display details of all teachers. To display details of all teachers who have joined the school after 01/01/1999 in descending order of experience. So how we will do that? That we are going to see as the next step. So experience and other details that we provided within the first table, within the school table. So based on that table only we need to retrieve the data. To display details of all teachers who have joined the school after 01/01/1999. So if any value is greater than this particular date, that data that we need to retrieve. So whenever we are retrieving, we need to print the data within descending order. So that's the question. So how we will do it? I'm going to show you how that will be provided. So this is the query for that question. Select start from school where DOJ greater than 1999-01-01 order by experience. EXP, that's a field that we are referring. So based on the DOJ field, if any of the value is greater than this particular date, that we will retrieve, and we will order the data based on EXP. We need to order the data within descending order. So we need to use the ESC along with that DESC. The ESC, that also that we need to use there. Select start from school where DOJ greater than the year, month, day. That's the format that we will use there. Then order by experience, EXP, that's a field name, DESC. So like that we will retrieve the data from the table and we will order it. Then next question is delete all the entries of those teachers whose experience is less than 10 years and the name contains the substring is in school table. And name contains a substring in school table. So if any teacher detail is provided like this, if the experience is less than 10 and name contains substring is in school table, we need to delete that particular data. So how we will do that? We are going to provide the delete process. Delete from table name. What's the table name? School. Then what's the condition? Delete from school where experience less than 10, EXP less than 10, this particular column name that we are using. So less than 10, if that's less than 10, then we will delete, and along with that, which condition that we need to satisfy? Name contains substring is. So how we will do that? Where EXP less than 10 and teacher name like modulus in modulus within single quotes, that we will specify that. Delete from school where EXP less than 10 and teacher name like modulus in modulus. So if any of the location contains in within their name, not in is in school table, that we will delete. So delete all the entries of those teachers whose experience is less than 10 years and name contains the substring is in school table. So what's the query? Delete from school where experience EXP less than 10 and teacher name like within single quotes modulus is modulus, then just close the single quotes, then semicolon. So that's the query for that question. Then we are moving to the next question. So this is the next question. Difference between equijoin and natural join with suitable example. So what is the difference between equijoin and natural join? With an example that you need to explain it. So equijoin means they will check for equality, and natural join also, that's almost same. So how we will differentiate it and how we will provide the answer for that? Equijoin is join two tables using equality operator on common attribute. So we will counter check the equal named fields and then they will retrieve the data. Then natural join is also same as equijoin. Join two tables using common attribute, but in resultant table will contain only one entry of common attribute. So within the equijoin, they will take the same field multiple times. So here you can see DEPT ID and DEPT ID, that particular columns that's repeated here. That's columns repeated here. So that will be avoided when you are using which join? Natural join. When you are using natural join, they will avoid the common attribute. So here only one time that's taken. So within the first table they provided duplicate columns, but within the second one, within the natural join, they will take only single time. So how we will provide the equijoin and natural join? So here you can see the query for that. Join, then table name on, then we are providing the query like this. Select star from EMP, join DEPT. So that two tables that we are providing for equality. Join on, that's a keyword that we are using for checking the equality. here we are checking the equality. So this one is equijoin emp.deptid equal to deptd.deptd. Based on that, we are retrieving the data and we are providing equijoin by using join on keyword. And here we will get the resultant table like this. But within the natural join, how we will do that? Select star from emp join dept using that we are using, instead of on we are using DPT ID. So what will happen? They will avoid the duplicate columns. So here this will be the resultant table. So we are moving to the next question. What is the difference between fetch one and fetch all? This particular question is based on connectivity section. So fetch all means fetch all the rows of a query result. By using the connection string, we will set the connection and we will use the cursor object for retrieving the data. And after retrieving the data within the cursor object, we will fetch the data from the cursor. So cursor, that's a resulted set. So from the resulted set, if you are using fetch all, the entire data that will be retrieved. That's they are specifying here. An empty list is returned. Empty list is returned if there is no record to fetch the cursor. So if there is no value is there, what they will return, that they are specifying. An empty list is returned if there is no record to fetch the cursor. Fetch one method returns one row or a single record at a time. It will return none if no more rows or records are available. So you can provide any example based on that. So this is the difference. So fetch one, fetch all and fetch many. That's the three process that we can do based on the fetching process. So fetch one means one by one data retrieval process. Fetch all means the entire data that will be retrieved. And fetch many means based on the argument. If you provide fetch many of three records that will be retrieved there. So that's the theory that you need to remember based on this. Then what's the difference between drop table and delete command? So drop and delete command, the difference that we will discuss like this. Drop table, that's a DDL command, and delete command, that's a DML command. So if you are changing the structure of the table, like by using alter table, create table, drop table, that particular commands are trying to change the structure of the existing table. We are trying to change the existing structure of the existing table. That process that we will done by using DDL command. And delete command, that's part of the DML. DML means if you are trying to update or delete an existing value, or if you are trying to insert a new data. So based on the data, if you are performing any of the operations based on the data that we inserted or based on the data that we are inserting, if you are doing any of the process, that will be specified as DML command. So DML commands includes select, insert, update, delete. Select, insert, update, delete. That's the DML commands. And based on the DDL, which are the commands? Create table, alter table, drop table. So that's the command that we can provide along with the DDL command. So we are moving to the next question. So this one is another table. Consider trainer and course tables given below. Trainer table. This one is the first table. And course table, that's provided within the second section. So here you can see the primary key and foreign key. Same fields. It's provided there, 101 to 106. So here you can see the duplicate values. So within the foreign key field, they will permit duplicate values and null values there. So that also that you need to remember when you are checking this. Identify the foreign key in the above table. Justify answer. So TID in course table. TID, this one is the foreign key field. And then next query is select TID comma min of start date from trainer T, course C. So this one is the alias name. This one is the alias name that we are using there. Then T.TID equal to C.TID group by TID having count of star greater than 1. So if when you are taking the grouping process and when we are using the aggregate function count of, if it's greater than 1, that particular data we are retrieving, min of start date that we are retrieving there. So what will be the answer? So we are combining these two tables. These are the two tables. And we are trying to retrieve the data. So which are the fields? TID and min of start date. TID and min of start date from trainer T course C, where we are providing the join process. Group by TID. We will group the data based on TID, having count of star greater than 1. So there is a small mistake within this particular query. Here you need to use the alias name or the table name there. Otherwise they will provide an ambiguous error there. So TID, that's provided within both the tables. So you need to refer the table name or the alias name that you need to refer there. So I am providing c.tid having count of star greater than 1. So we will group the data based on the TID field. So what will happen? Here you can see how many data based on 101. 2 data is there. 2 data based on 101, and 103 only 1 data. 102 only 1 data. 104 only 1 data. So rest of the sections contains only 1 data. So only 101 contains multiple data, is it? So that data, 101 data that will be retrieved greater than 1, it's provided with 101 only. So that data that will be retrieved, and they will print 101, then min of date, min of start date. Min of start date means this is the start date of first one and this is the start date of second one. So which one is the minimum value? 07, that's the minimum value. So that will be retrieved there. So this will be the answer for that question. The next question, select T name, C name from trainer T course C, where T.tid equal to C.tid and fees greater than 12,000. So you need to compare that 2 columns, and from that you need to retrieve C name, that's from the second table, and T name, that's from first table. Based on which condition? If fees greater than 12,000, then only we need to retrieve the data. So if you are taking the fees section greater than 12,000, retrieves 15,000, that's greater than 12,000, then not this one, then this one, and this one. That 3 data that's greater than 12,000. So based on that, 103, and then we will check it. So based on 15,000, 103, and 20,000, 101, and 18,000, 105. That 3 data based on TID field that we need to counter check here. 103, 101, and 105 data that we are retrieving. And based on that, which are the data that we need to retrieve? T name and C name. T name, what is a T name here? Sunaina, that's a T name. And based on 101, C name is DHN. Sunaina, DHN, that will be printed. And 103, Deepthi. For Deepthi, what's the C name? 103, ADCA, that's the C name. And for 105, Richa, and here 105, O level. So like that, they will retrieve the data from both the tables. So that's the process, retrieving the data from multiple tables. So we are moving to the next question. With reference to the table trainer and course as given in question number 37 that we already discussed, to display the T name and city of trainer who joined the institute in the month of December 2001. To display the T name and city. So here you can see T name and city, that's provided within the same table, of trainer who joined the institute in the month of December 2001. Hire date, that's the joining date. That particular person is hired within the month of December 2001. In the month of December 2001 that we need to retrieve. So how we will provide the query? Select T name comma city from trainer. Then how we will provide the rest of the query? Where, from trainer, where, hire date, like, then we can use hyphen, then December means 12. So how we will provide? 2001 hyphen 12 modulus. 2001 hyphen 12 modulus. So like operator that we can use, or otherwise what any other mechanism that's available for retrieving the data based on that field. Here we used higher date like 2001 hyphen 12 hyphen modulus. That's the query that we used here. So instead of this one, is there any other mechanism available? You can use another mechanism. Like how we can use it? We can provide month name of the field name, month name of higher date equal to, then we will provide December there, and year of higher date equal to 2001. So like that also we can retrieve the data. The easiest way is this one. So the correct query is select T name comma city from trainer where higher date like 2001 hyphen 12 hyphen modulus. So if any of the date started with 2001 12, that particular data that will be retrieved there. So we are moving to the next question. To display T name, higher date, start date. T name, higher date and start date that we need to retrieve from the next table, that's a join process. Then for those courses whose names ends with letter A, whose names ends with course name that ends with A. So that particular data that we need to retrieve. So how we will retrieve the data from both the tables? We will provide select trainer dot T name comma or T dot T name comma, then next one is higher date, trainer dot higher date comma, then start date. So it's not required to provide the table reference always. You can directly use that. There is no problem. Here the T name and higher date, that's not duplicated within the second table. So we can directly access it. There is no problem for that. We can do that. Select T name comma higher date comma, then start date comma start date. So this higher date, T name and start date, that's provided only once within both the tables. So there is no problem for retrieving directly. Then from both the table names, from trainer comma course where trainer dot TID equal to course dot TID and C name like within single quotes modulus A, within single quotes modulus A. So we are going to see the answer for that. Select T name comma higher date comma C name comma start date. Select T name comma higher date comma C name comma start date from trainer T comma course C. That's alias name that we provided. If you are not using the alias name T and C there, you can directly specify the table name here within the where clause. That's the only problem that we will face there if we are not providing the alias name. So it's always easy to use the alias name there. So the shorthand representation that we can provide here within the where clause, that's the benefit. So trainer T comma course C where T dot TID equal to C dot TID and C name like within single quotes modulus A, within single quotes modulus A. That's the correct answer for that question. We are moving to the next question. So the next question is to display C name and with minimum fees for each TID. Minimum fees for each TID. So each TID means we need to provide the grouping process. Is it required or not, that you need to think. To display C name. C name is this one, and with minimum fees amount that's provided here for each TID. So whether the TID field is repeated, that's repeated. So definitely we need to group the data, and after that only we can find the minimum value. So what's the query? We will retrieve TID, select TID comma C name comma min of fees from course group by TID. So as the first step, they will group the data based on TID. So here 101 that's provided 2 times, and 103 102 1 time, 104 1 time, and 105 1 time. So like that they will group the data. They will group the data based on this, and after that they will find the minimum value. So 101, when you are taking 101, What's the minimum value? 20,000 and 12,000, that's provided there for 101. So 12,000 is the minimum value that will be taken there. After grouping the data, we will do it. So like that, we will retrieve the data from the table. So here we are using a query. Select TID, comma, CNAME, comma, min of fees from course group by TID. So that's the correct query for that question. Then we are moving to the next question. To display number of trainers from each city. To display number of trainers from each city. So trainer details that we need to identify. How many trainers that's available within each city? That's the question. So the city name, that's duplicated here or not? That's duplicated here. So here you can see Mumbai, how many times that's provided? 2 times that's provided. Then Delhi, how many times? 2 times. Chandigarh, 1 time. Then Chennai, how many times? Only 1 time. So based on the city, we need to group the data, and after that only we can count it. So how we will do that? We will group the data based on the city field, and after that we will take the count of star aggregate function that we will use along with the select statement. So what will be the query? Select city, comma, this field that we will use there. So whenever we are using the group by section, it's not possible to use tname along with the select process. That you need to remember. Whenever we are using group by clause, it's not easy to use another field that's duplicated there. So here, when you are taking the group by based on Mumbai, for the Mumbai section, so Naina and another name that's available is Richa. So both the names that's not possible to display within the same time. So we will provide the group by clause. If you are using the group by clause, if you need to specify those fields that's not provided with duplicate values. So here select city, comma, count of star from trainer, group by city. So that's the correct query. Select city, comma, count of star from trainer, this table that we are referring, after grouping the data based on city field, group by city. That's the correct answer. Then we are going to take another question. To display T name and their C name who are not from Delhi and Mumbai. To display T name, this field that's provided within the trainer table, and their C name that's provided within the second table who are not from Delhi and Mumbai. If any person is not from Delhi and Mumbai, that particular details only that we need to retrieve. So how we will do that? We will provide the join process. Or if you are in a situation to retrieve values from multiple tables, you need to provide the join process. So here the TID, these 2 columns, the first column TID and the last column within the course field that we will link, and based on that we will retrieve the data. So how we will do that? Select T name, comma, C name from trainer T, comma, course C, where trainer.tid equal to course.tid, then and city not in Delhi, comma, Mumbai. City not in Delhi, comma, Mumbai. So like that we can provide the query. So I will show the query. Select T name, comma, C name from trainer T, comma, course C, where T.tid equal to C.tid and city not in Delhi, comma, Mumbai. So like that we can provide the query for that question. Then next question is Rajna. It's another concept that we will discuss later, not in this video. So we are stopping this particular video here. We will discuss more questions within the coming video. Thank you.